Well, joining us to discuss Spain's housing crisis and the construction market is Baldomero Falcones. He is the Chairman and Chief Executive of FCC. That's Spain's second largest builder. I know you do an awful lot of other things, but starting off with construction, what really is the state of construction in Spain now, particularly in the retail market, which you're exposed to?
Well, I think in Spain we were building houses for 2 or 3 years demand. That means that there is a stock now that it will be absorbed in the next 2 years, you know. I think the houses are there, and they will be absorbed. I think there was a strong demand and a strong growth in the country, and perhaps the country was too much optimistic in this regard.
But what does that do for construction at the moment? Clearly there is oversupply, so it must be very difficult now in this market.
Yeah, in our case, we are not building houses. We were not. We are mainly focused in infrastructure. This is our three main activities is infrastructure, is environmental service, and renewable energy. And that's why in infrastructure, the demand remained very high, not only in Spain.
Right, because the government in Spain is actually going to attempt to cut the deficit quite severely in Spain without raising taxes again. That's what they're saying. I think it's a 3% cut they'd like to see by 2013, yes. which is, which is quite high. Clearly, infrastructure is one of the areas that's going to be affected by that, isn't it? Yeah, in our case, now we are, for instance, we are number 2 in Central Europe, also for infrastructure. But we are working, for instance, in Singapore. We are building the subway of Singapore, or in India, in New Delhi, or in China. Or we have operation in Portugal, or in Ireland, or UK, you know. I mean, this is something we need to continue, this diversification, because the demand on infrastructure in the world will be huge demand in the coming 10, 20 years. And now, let's talk a little bit about where else you like to go, because you're quite big in Central Europe. How do you decide on which projects to go to there? And also, how easy is it to raise finance in Central Europe?
Well, we were to Central Europe because it was the new border for Europe, you know, and there were strong funds coming from Brussels to develop the infrastructure all in Central and Eastern Europe. You know, that's why the decision. Now we are moving to some other countries, some other areas worldwide, but not so many. We are trying to focus, for instance, in Abu Dhabi, or in India, or in Brazil, or in Algeria, 4 or 5 countries where we have the expertise, we have the reference for the infrastructure.
Now, another part of your business is renewables.
Yes.
A small part at the moment. Is that something that you would like to grow?
Yeah, we like to grow because we think also that the demand, the future demand for renewable energy will be huge in the US, in Europe, in China, in India. We are in the wind energy. We are also in photovoltaic and solar. We are also in thermal, and in something which is very important for us is the incineration plant. This is from the waste to create energy. For instance, we have plants in UK, we have plants in Austria, we have plants in Spain, and we like to develop this. I say that the most renewable energy is coming from the waste.
I'd like to go back to Spain for a minute, if I may. As a business leader in Spain, do you think that the government is on the right path? Do you think that they're going to be able to cut the deficit as much as they say they're going to be?
I think the government realized that we need to be more competitive. We need to increase the competitiveness of the Spanish company. And the way to do this is to spend less in the administration and try to develop our assets. Spain, I think they have very strong assets, very big companies that 20 years ago almost they didn't exist, and that means that there is a strong driver. If we can do that, our companies will be more competitive. And to do this, they need to reduce overheads.
But reducing administration and making them more competitive doesn't really help unemployment, does it?
That is true. That is true. I think in Spain we have a problem that in the last 10 years we create 4 to 5 million new jobs. For a small country like Spain, I think 2 million of this was structural, but 2 million they were conjunctural. We have to absorb these new jobs that they were only for a period of strong growth.
Okay. Are you confident in Spain's future?
Absolutely. I think when you have an entrepreneurial movement like we have in Spain. This is a long-term movement for 20, 25 years. It was in the UK, it was in Germany, it was in the US, and we are now in this way. I mean, we have to resolve problems, but the strong movement of the entrepreneurial organization is very good.
Senor Falcones, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.